Hello students, how are you all? Welcome back to NDJN classes. Yes, I posted that I am going to discuss about the phylums regarding the animal kingdom, first phylums. So it got somewhat delay and I explained the number of phylums, how many, 11, etc. and levels of organization, introduction. In my previous lecture we discussed all this. So now let's move on to the phylums. What we have to discuss is the first phylum. One by one 11 phylums we have to complete. The first phylum in the animal kingdom is, as of that, Porifera. The first phylum name is Porifera. You know the meaning of the word Porifera? Yes. In the introduction I told that por, that indicates holes. The organisms, the animals who having the holes in the entire body, all those animals are placed in the phylum with the name of what? Poriferans. And these poriferans are, first thing, these poriferans are commonly called sponges. These are commonly called sponges. Yes, these are commonly called sponges. And next one is, these poriferans are primitive organisms. What is the meaning of a primitive organism? Primitive organism which indicates very old organisms, very old organisms, which indicates primitive organisms. And some concepts we already discussed in the introduction. What those concepts is, the poriferans are showing the which level of organization? Yes, cellular level of organization. Cellular level of organization. Yes, means all the cells are working individually. They are not unicellular organisms. They are multicellular organisms, but all the cells are not working with coordination. So tissues are not formed in these animals. So because of that only it comes under the cellular level of organization. And the symmetry. Next go for the symmetry. And the symmetry of these poriferans is what symmetry? They are not dividing into two equal halves. If anything is not dividing into two equal halves, it is what symmetry? We call it as asymmetry. A stands for what? Absent. Symmetry stands for what? Which is not at all dividing into two equal halves in any plane. Yes, poriferans are showing the A type of symmetry. What is the habitat of these organisms? What is the habitat of this organism? Poriferans are present inside of water. If any organisms are present inside of water, such organisms we call them as what organism? Aquatic organism. Here aquatic means which indicates marine water and which indicates fresh water. Yes, marine water indicates what? Ocean water or sea water, and fresh water indicates what? Lake, rivers, ponds, etc. the water that what we are using. So these poriferans are present inside of water, so it is aquatic organism. And which organism they are present means most of the poriferans are present in the marine water, in oceans. Most of the poriferans are present in the marine water. Some poriferans are present inside of the fresh water. Yes, some are present inside of fresh water. Some are present inside of fresh water. The poriferans are commonly called what? Sponges. Poriferans are commonly called what? Sponges. And now you remember the sponge which is present inside of the fresh water, such a sponge we call them as fresh water sponge. The sponges which are present inside of the fresh water, those sponges, what is the name of that sponge? The name of that sponge is freshwater sponge. Yeah, you are a sponge, you are present in the fresh water, so your name is what? Freshwater sponge. But most of the poriferans are present in the which water? Marine water. Some are present in the fresh water. That sponge which is present in fresh water, that sponge we call it as freshwater sponge. Okay, fine. You know that these organisms doesn't have any germinal layers. The germinal layers are absent. And next one, and they are not showing any coelom. So the coelom is also what happened? Absent. Coeloms are of three types: acoelom, pseudocoelom, and as well as coelom. Here coelom is nothing is there, but here there is a presence of special name spongiocele. Later I will tell about that one. And along with that, circulatory system, etc., digestive system, etc., everything is absent. Why? Because these organisms are only made up of cells. But these sponges are showing the one special type of system. Yes, what is the special type of system that is present in the poriferans? The special type of system that is present in the poriferan is water canal system. Very important. Yes, they having the water canal system. These organisms are showing the water canal system, and this water canal system is also called with another name. The another name is water transport system. The water canal system is also called water transport system. Both are same. Both are same. This is the canal. They having the canal. Inside of that canal, water is passing. So water canal system. So in that canal, what is it transporting? Water is transporting. So water transport system. Anything is same. And you might be remember here. And there is also one more system that is called water vascular system. Water vascular system. This is different. The water vascular system is not present in the poriferum. It is not present in the poriferum. What poriferance contains water? Water canal system, or it is also called a water transport system. Then what about this water vascular system? The water vascular system is seen in the phylum which is known as Echinodermata. Echinodermata. Be compare while you studying the animal kingdom phylums, you should compare some common names, some common features. Be careful in that. So water canal system is present in porifera, and water vascular system is present in the Echinodermata. Regarding this, we will discuss about in the next class. While I am teaching the Echinodermata, at that time I will tell that. Know the difference. First, let's come for the water canal system. Water canal system. Yes, this water canal system contains a openings is present for the body. Why? Because it is completely made up of cells. The openings, there are so many number of openings are present. Those all openings we call them as ostia. That all opening we call it as ostia. These many osteas are opening into one cavity. One cavity. Cavity means what here? Seal. Cavity means what? Seal. Cavity means what? The cavity seal is seen in which organism? Sponges. Because of that only that cavity is called spongiocele. Spongiocele. It is not acoelom, it is not pseudocoelom, it is not coelom. It is just a space is present. That space is present in porifera, commonly called we are calling them as sponges. So this space is called spongiocele, and this spongiocele is opening out through the large opening. The large opening is called it as osculum. The large opening we call it as osculum. Many openings on what? Ostia. Minute, very small openings. These minute many openings we call them as ostia, and ostia is getting the water or transporting the water to the spongiocele. From spongioceles to water is going outside of the body through the large opening, only single opening, that is called osculum. So what is it transporting in this? Water is transporting. Because of that only ostia, spongiocele, osculum, all these are helping in what function? They are helping in the transport of water, because it is called water transport system. Water transport system. Let's make the diagram, rough diagram of sponges. They are present inside of where? Aquatic. Mainly present in which water? Marine water. Now let's see. For example, this is the substratum. They are not moving. For example, this is the substratum, means base. This is the base. This is the base. All they are made up of water. Everything, all these are made up of cells itself. All they are made up of cells. Like this, there is a presence of cells. This is the outermost layer. All the cells which are present outside like this. All the cells which are present outside like this. Like this, there is a presence of, all these are present outside. Actually, this is called pinnacoderm. The layer is called pinnacoderm, but it is not in your NCERT textbook. Now let's ignore that. Pinnacoderms we call them as. Now in this manner, there is a presence of arrangement of cells. Cell means it definitely contains water. Nucleus. All these are the cells. Like this, there is a presence of cells. And here there is a presence of a large opening. Here there is a presence of a large opening, a sponge body, which there is a presence of large opening. We are seeing the sectional cutting of a sponge. Sectional cutting of sponge. And you observe carefully, here there is a presence of a opening. This is the opening. This is the opening, and these are the openings. All are the minute openings. All these are a minute small openings which are present either side of the body. Like this, there is a presence of a minute openings. And these minute openings we call them as what? Ostia. As of I told, those minute opening we call them as ostia. Now let's see, actually after ostia there is a presence of a non-cellular layer. A non-cellular layer is present here like this, which is attaching to the pinnacoderm. Like this, there is a presence of a non-cellular layer. Means this membrane is not made up of the cells. It is not made up of cells. Like this, it is present, attaching to the pinnacoidum, outer layer. Red color is outer layer, which we call it as a pinnacoidum. Pinnacoidum. Yes, keep remember that word. Like this, it is present. And this non-cellular membrane is followed by the innermost layer. That innermost layer we call it as gastrodermis. Like this, there is a presence of gastrodermis. You don't get confused. To understand the diagram, I am drawing this, that's all. But in your NCERT textbook, they didn't give any pinnacoidums or they didn't give any gastrodermis. So don't get confused. To understand the diagram, I am drawing them like that. Yes, this is the gastrodermis. This is the gastrodermis. See, now this is the sponge. Now this is the sponge. Sectional cutting of sponge. What I told, sponge contains water transport system with a minute opening. What are the minute opening? Ostia. Means they are present inside of water now. So the entire sponge body is covered with what now? Water. So all this is what? Water. All this is water. The sponge is completely surrounded with water. Now the water contains lot of minute organisms, like food materials are present. Food materials are present. Now whenever the water through this ostia, the water is entering into the cavity. Yes, the water is entering into the cavity through the minute openings into the cavity. What cavity is this? As of I told that this cavity is called spongiocele. Yes, it is spongiocele. It is spongiocele, empty space. Spongiocele. See that from either side of many minute openings, water is entering. Water is entering into the spongiocele. Through the ostia, water is entering into sponge. While at the time of entering of water, if any food particles are present, those food particles are also entered into the spongiocele. These are the food particles. So along with water, food particle is also entered into the spongiocele, and along with that, it is also taking the respiratory gases. It is also receiving the respiratory gases through the water. Why? Because what is the molecular formula of water? H2O. In that only oxygen is there. Yes, the water is helping in the gathering of food material into the spongiocele and also for the gathering of respiratory gases. The food particle which is entered here, this food particle is taken up by these cells. It is taken up by these cells. The food particles are taken up by these cells. For example, this is the cell. This is the cell. Now, this cell received that food particle. This cell received this food particle. Now, what this cell is going to doing? The cell is going to break this food particle. Breaking down of food particle is called what? Digestion. The breaking down of food particle is called what? Digestion. Now, tell me, digestion is happening inside of the cell. The digestion is happening inside of the cell. Such a type of digestion is called intracellular digestion. Intracellular digestion. What is the function? Digestion, breaking down of food particle. Where it is happening? Inside or outside? Inside. Inside to whom? Inside of cell. Because of that only such a type of digestion is called intracellular digestion. And there is also extracellular digestion. But sponges are not showing the extracellular digestion. Sponges are showing the intracellular digestion. Keep this in your mind. The digestion which happens inside of the cell, such digestion is called intracellular digestion. Okay. Whenever after breaking down of food particles, the waste products are released. Yes, all these are the waste products. All these are the waste products which are formed accumulating in the spongiocele. Now let's see, water is entered through the ostia. In the spongiocele, something is happened, and now these waste particles what are present? All these waste particles are coming outside through the water. The water is coming outside through the large opening. What is a large opening? Osculum. Osculum. All the excretory products or the waste materials are excreted out through the osculum. So water is entering ostia, ostia to spongiocele, spongioceles to osculum. So all this system is called what system? Water canal system. The another name for water canal system is what? Water transport system. And you might be remember here, you have to remember here, these canals and as well as the spongiocele. This is the spongiocele, empty space, right? Yes, those canals and as well as the spongiocele is lined with some cells. Just imagine these are the cells. These are the cells. Like this, there is a presence of cells are present. Spongiocele is lined with these cells. What are these cells? These cells we call them as choanocytes. Choanocyte. Let me write the spelling. Let me write the spelling. The name of those cells is what? Choanocytes. Choanocyte. What is the meaning of cyte? Cell. And now we remember choano, which is indicating that both for the canals and as well as spongiocele. See, this is the spongiocele lined with the choanocyte cells, and the canals are also lined with the choanocyte cells. These choanocyte cells are also called cholar cells. Cholar cells. You remember those two. Both are same. Choanocytes or cholar cells. The choanocytes or cholar cells lining the spongiocele and as well as canal system. They are helping in the macrophagocytic function, etc. will be there. Next, one more important thing you have to remember. The body of the sponges is supported by skeletal system. Let me erase all this. The body of the sponges is supported by skeletal system. Okay, sir. What is that skeletal system? That skeletal system which is present in the sponges is made up of spicules. Spicules or sponge in fibers. S-P-O-N-G. Sponge in fibers. Alternative names are important. Actually, these are called siliceous spicules. Why those are called siliceous spicules means because they are made up of silicon. They are made up of silicon. Because of that only those spicules we call them as siliceous spicules or also called sponge in fibers. What is their function? They are supporting the body. For example, our body is supported by what? Our body is supported by our bones. Means our skeletal system is giving our structural framework. Now same like that only the sponge is also supported. Who is supporting? These spicules are supporting, means they are acting like skeletal system. So siliceous spicules or sponge in fibers. Let me represent here. Here there is a presence of siliceous spicules. In this manner, there is a presence of all these are the siliceous spicules, which are also called sponge in fibers. And these are made up of what? These are made up of silicon, and sometimes they are also made up of calcareous, means calcium carbonate. Like this. Like this, there is a presence of siliceous which is supporting the body. It is not making the sponge to get down. Supporting. Stand like ostia, spongiocele, and ossiculum. Next, one more important point is these sponges are in this organism. Sexes are not separate. What is the meaning of this? Sexes are not separate. Remember carefully. Male sex organs are present and female sex organs are present. For example, human being, male and females will be present. I will have only male sex organ, and female human being contain only female sex organ. So which indicate what? Two sex organs are separate. For a human beings, both the sex organs are separate. Male human being contains only male sex organ and female organism contains only female sex organ, which is indicating both the sexes are separate. But here what statement I am telling is, in sponges, sexes are not separate. Sexes are not separate. Which is telling that, for example, here I will represent without making any confusion. Let me write in this empty space. In this organism, there is a special presence of some cells like this. Just imagine these are the cells. Male reproductive cells. And somewhere, let me represent here. Somewhere, here there is a presence of a cells. Why? Because it is completely made up of cells only, na? Here there is a presence of cells. These cells are female reproductive cells. And these are male reproductive cells. Nothing but a male reproductive part and female reproductive part. See, both the sexes are present in same individual. Same. So now tell me, this sponge is male or female? Who knows? Who knows? If only male sex organs are present, we can say the sponge is male. If it contains only female sex organs, we can say sponge is a female. But it is having both male sex cells and as well as a female sex cells. So we can't say whether the sponge is a male or female. That is telling that sexes are not separate. Yes, male sex organ is present in this sponge and female sex organ also present here only. Yes, and you know very well, gametes will release. The male is releasing the male gamete. What is a male gamete? Yes, the male gamete is sperm. The sperm is releasing like this. Sperm is releasing. And the female is releasing the ovum or egg. Egg is releasing. Egg is releasing. Now what happened? Both the male and female gametes are going to what happen? Fuse. The fusion of gametes is called what? Fertilization. Fertilization. Now tell me, the fusion of gametes, let's make the fusion. Let's make the fusion. The fusion is happened. Yeah, red and black is mixed. Both are fused. Now it is what? Zygote. Two zygotes are there. Let me make only one zygote. Now this is the zygote. The fusion of both male and female gamete is called fertilization. Now tell me, fertilization means fusion is happened inside or outside? Inside it is happened. So such a type of fertilization is called what fertilization? Internal fertilization. Sponges are showing the which type of fertilization? Internal fertilization. Now this is the zygote. Now this zygote will release outside through the ossiculum, and once again there is a growth of new sponge, and in this sponge larva stages are present. Larva stage is present, and I told if there is a larva stage, development is what? The larva stage is present means development is indirect. The development is indirect development, which is indicating that larva stage is present, which is morphologically different. This larva stage of sponge having one structure and adult sponge having the another structure. So which is indicating all this is the reproduction. How the sponges are reproduced up to now, we discussed about the sponges reproduced by sexually. Yes, by sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction means by the formation of gametes. Yes, gametes are produced by same individual. One sponge only producing the male gamete and this sponge only producing the female gamete. Both the gametes are fused inside. So fertilization is internal and they having the larva stage. So development is indirect. All this is the concept of which reproduction? Sexual reproduction. Not only sexually, sponges are also reproducing asexually without the help of sex. There is no fusion of gametes is happening. Asexual reproduction. A means what? Absent. What is absent? Sexes are. So no need of the sex organs now. We no need to discuss about the sex organ. Asexual reproduction. Which type of asexual reproduction means? Fragmentation. Fragmentation. If any fragment or if any cell is detached from the sponge, that fragment is going to develop into a new sponge. Such a type of reproduction is called asexual reproduction, which is indicating that sponges reproduce sexually and asexually. Sexually by what? Formation of gametes. Asexually by what? By the fragmentation. Gametes are produced from same individual. Yes, sexes are separate or not separate? Not separate, which is indicating that these are monoecious organisms. Monoecious organism. The another name for monoecious organism is hermaphrodite. Monoecious means in one organism, mono means what? Single. In one organism, two sexes are present. That is called a monoecious organism. The another name for monoecious organism is what? Hermaphrodite. Whenever you heard the word sexes are not separate, immediately you remember the organism is monoecious, which is also called hermaphrodite, and the gametes are produced by the same individual. The key points that what you have to remember in this is, number one, the key points that what you have to remember is fertilization. Which type of fertilization? Internal fertilization. Fusion is happening inside of the body. Next, digestion. Which type of digestion? Intracellular digestion. Digestion is happening inside of cell. Intracellular digestion. Next, body is supported by what? The body is supported by spicules. spicules, which are also called spongin fibers, and they are made up of what? Silicon or sometimes calcareous. And next, development. How the development is? Indirect development. Whenever you heard the word indirect development, immediately you have to think that there is a larva stage is present, which is morphologically different to the adult sponge. And next, the very important system is water canal system, which indicates ostia, spongiocele and ossiculum. How many ostias? Many. How many ossiculum? Only one. And these canals are lined with some specialized cells. They are lined with some specialized cells. As of I told, those cells we call them as choanocytes. And the another name for choanocytes is what? Collar cells. Yes. Actually, larva stage 3 will be there. Trichimula, parenchyma, amphiblastula. Names are there. Parenchyma, trichimula and amphiblastula. But in your NCERT, they didn't give anything. So, forgot about that. You just remember larva stage is present. Development is indirect. You should remember what is the monoecious, which is also called hermaphrodite, which is nothing but sexes are not separate. Gametes are produced from same individual. That's all. Examples they have given. 3 examples they have given in your NCERT. Sycon scypha, which is present in marine water. And the next example is freshwater sponge. What is the freshwater sponge? Spongilla. The spongilla is the freshwater sponge. Next one, euspongia. What sponge? Bath sponge. Scientific name, common name. Both are important. So you examples, we can't do anything. Names. What is your name? How you will remember your name? By pronouncing number of times. Examples, Sycon scypha, marine. Spongilla, freshwater sponge. In name only it is there. Spongilla, freshwater sponge. Yes, spongilla is the freshwater sponge. Next, euspongia, bath sponge. It is present in marine water. Same, so many are there. Venus, flower basket, etc. But nothing is there. This is about the porifera. I will give the quick revision. In my next video, I will make an animal kingdom as a one full chapter. It will be very useful for you. Quick revision. Now next, second phylum. Thank you. Second phylum. Hope you enjoying the classes, and I am asking you that should subscribe if you want the latest updates from my channel and my lectures from both first PUC and as well as second PUC, botany and as well as zoology. You have to do one thing, that subscribing the channel, and you won't miss the notification and you can happily enjoy the classes. And don't forget to comment that what the doubts that you having and what chapters that what you having doubt and what chapters that making you difficult to understand. Comment me those chapters. Definitely I will teach botany and as well as zoology. Now let's see second phylum. What is the second phylum? The second phylum is Cnidaria. The second phylum is Cnidaria. Actually, previously this phylum name is called Cnidaria. Cnidaria. Two names, both are same, Cnidaria or Cnidaria. Fine. Now let's see about this Cnidaria and Cnidaria. You have to remember the common points that what I taught. Cnidarians are exhibiting the which level of organization? Yes, they are exhibiting the tissue level of organization. Next, and they are showing the what type of symmetry? Yes, they are showing the radial symmetry, which can be divided into two equal halves in any plane. And they having the two germinal layers during the embryonic stage. What are the two germinal layers? Outer one is ectoderm and inner one is endoderm. Presence of two germinal layers is indicating these are what blastic organism? Diploblastic organisms. And coelom is absent. And elementary canal is blind sac. What is a blind sac means? Which contains only one opening and the another opening is closed. This is a blind sac. And this one opening is acting as mouth and as well as anus. That one opening is acting as mouth and as well as anus. That such type of alimentary canal is blind sac or incomplete digestive tract. Incomplete digestive tract. First thing, why the name Cnidaria? The name Cnidaria because the entire body of this animal contains some specialized cells. Those cells we call them as cnidoblast cells. Cnidoblast cells. So because of presence of cnidoblast cells, the name Coelenterata is later given it as a new name, updated name as Cnidaria. Cnidaria. Sir, where they are located, sir? They are located in aquatic organism. Yes, like poriferans. Aquatic organism. Aquatic. Mostly which water? Marine water. Mostly present in marine water. Except one which are very very familiar for you, that is Hydra. Hydra. Hydra is present in fresh water. Hydra is present in fresh water. So in poriferans, most of them are present in marine water and some are present in fresh water. In Cnidaria also, most of them are present in marine water, some are present in fresh water. Who is present in fresh water? Hydra here. And what is present in fresh water there? Fresh water sponge, which is called Euspongia. Now let's make the diagram of Hydra. Diagram of Hydra. Now, it is a large opening will be present. I will tell the name of this large opening. And this is the body. This is the body of the organism, and the entire body contains all these are the number of tentacles which helps in locomotion purpose and etc and etc. All these are the tentacles. This is the body and this is the tentacles. And you might be knowing that they contain alimentary canal, which is an anterior opening. Yes, just imagine this is the anterior opening that is leading to the alimentary canal, which is a blind sac. What is the another name? It is called gastrovascular cavity. It is gastrovascular cavity, only blind sac. Like this it is present. Now let's see, this is the body part and these are the tentacles. The entire body and the tentacle contains cells. What cells are these? These cells we call them as cnidoblast cells. The cnidoblast cells are present in body, and not only on the body, they are also present in tentacles like this. So the entire body and the tentacle is covered with the cnidoblast cells. Like this. Yeah. Like this. Entire body is covered with the cells. With these cells we call them as cnidoblast cells. Fine. You remember. Let's make the diagram of one cnidoblast cell here. One cnidoblast cell. Like this, there is a presence of this cnidoblast cell. This is the cnidoblast cell, but actually I represented one line there. This cnidoblast cell contains one nematocyte. A nematocyte is present like this, which is coiled, and it is having the sharp pointed end like this. The sharp point end will be present. This is called nematocyte. And with the help of this nematocyte only, it is performing so many functions it will perform. What is the function of this cnidoblast? First of all, the cnidoblasts are responsible to perform majorly three functions. Number one, anchor. It helps in anchor, means support. Anchor means what? Support, holding something. And along with anchor, it also helps in the capturing of prey, hunting the small organism, catching, killing it and eating. Anchor and a capturing of prey, and it is also help in what mechanism? Defense mechanism. What is the meaning of defense? Protection. Defense means what? Protection. For example I am telling, if you hold the hydra like this, at that time what is going to happen? It have a sharp pointed nematocyte. With that nematocyte it will pin you. Whenever it pins you, feel pain and you will release it. It will escape. That is a one type of defense mechanism. These three names you have to remember. Cnidoblast performs three functions: anchorage, capturing of prey and defense. A, C, D. B is missing here. A, C, D. A for anchor, C for capturing of prey, D for defense. These are the three functions of cnidoblast cell. First of all, as of I told that, cnidarians are aquatic organism Mostly present in marine water, some are present in fresh water. Which one is hydra it is? So let's see. Cnidarians are either sessile. Sessile. What is the meaning of sessile? Sessile stands for which is immovable. Immovable. It cannot move from one place to another place. They will present at one place only. Immovable. Sessile. You have to underline in NCERT. Sessile. And some of the cnidarians are free swimming. In name only it is there. They are very free. They can swim like anything. So, cnidarians, mostly marine. Some are sessile and some are free swimming. Free swimming. Yes, fine. Now let's see. For example, these all are the cnidoblasts which perform three functions. Function number 2, come to the capturing of prey. They hunted the prey. And they are taking the prey into the mouth. This is the mouth. Another name for mouth is stoma. Now below the mouth there is a presence of a large opening. That is, what is the name of that large opening? Yeah, listen, that this is the large opening which is present below the mouth. Below means what? If anything is present below, we say hypo. Hypo means what? Under. Means below. Yes, hypo. That large opening name is what? Hypo. Hypo means what? Below. Yes, this large opening is present below to whom? Mouth. What is another name for mouth? Stoma. So the large opening name is hypostoma. Hypostoma. You should remember here, this is the large opening hypostoma. On this large opening hypostoma, what is present? Mouth. Mouth is present on hypostoma. Be careful here. Mouth is this. Below to mouth, there is a presence of hypostoma. The statement is telling that mouth is present on hypostoma. That is important. Yes, and the food is entered through the mouth and through the gastrovascular cavity. Inside of it, the food is what happening? Digesting. Means this digestion is happening in alimentary canal. This digestion is called extracellular digestion. After that, some of the food particles are entered into the cell. Small molecules entered into cell. Inside of cell, once again they are breaking. So such type of digestion is called intracellular digestion. So the cnidarians are showing the both extracellular digestion and intracellular digestion, but poriferans are showing only intracellular digestion. Cnidarians are showing both extracellular digestion and as well as intracellular digestion. How many germinal layers are present? 2 germinal layers, diploblastic. So ectoderm and endoderm, it is a diploblastic. Next, you remember here some of the cnidarians, those cnidarians we call them as corals. These cnidarians' body is covered, protecting. It is covered like this, protecting like skeletal system. So it is protecting from outside or inside? So outside. So this is exoskeleton. Sir, it is made up of what? The exoskeleton is made up of what? The exoskeleton is made up of calcium carbonate, CaCO3. Calcareous. You should remember corals, only corals, not the cnidarians and etc., not hydra etc. Corals are one type of cnidarians. In these corals, the body is covered with the hard substance which is acting as skeletal system. Outside or inside? Outside. So exoskeleton. And this skeleton is made up of what? Calcium carbonate. This is the only statement they given about the corals in NCERT. It is a separate statement. Some of the cnidarians like corals contain exoskeleton. The exoskeleton is made up of calcium carbonate. That's all. Apart from that, nothing they have given. So don't worry about that. Don't worry. Next. After this, very, very important. One more important. Some of the cnidarians having two basic body forms. What are the two basic body forms? The first basic body form is called polyp. Polyp. Polyp is the first basic body form. And the next basic body form is Medusa or Medusae. 1 minute, whether it is running or not. Yeah. The first basic body form is polyp. It is the first, which is also called former. Former means first. Former means first. Second one is called later. Later. Who is former? Polyp. Who is later? Medusa. Some of the organisms, some of the cnidarians having two basic body forms. The former is polyp, later is Medusa. Okay, fine. How the formers are? The former polyp is sessile. You know very well what is sessile. Immovable. Polyp is immovable. It won't move. It won't move. And the shape of the polyp is cylindrical shape. Cylindrical shape. Cylindrical. Polyp looks like which animal? The polyp looks like Hydra. Hydra. No, remember, polyp is not the Hydra. Polyp is one basic body form which is sessile, which cannot move, and that is having the cylindrical shape, like this cylindrical shape. So polyp looks like which cnidarian? It looks like Hydra. Not only Hydra, it also looks like another one which is known as Adamsia. Adamsia. So some of the cnidarians two basic body form: polyp, Medusa. Polyp is what? Sessile, which is immovable. Polyp shape is what? Cylindrical shape. Polyp looks like whom? Hydras and as well as Adamsia. Next one is a later form. What is the later form? Medusa. Medusa, quite opposite. Quite opposite. Medusa is free swimming. Free swimming. Polyp is sessile. Medusa is free swimming, which can freely movable. And next one, what is the shape of this Medusa? The shape of the Medusa is umbrella shape. Umbrella shape. Then Medusa looks like what? It looks like fish. What fish is that? Jellyfish. Remember now, jellyfish is not a fish. Jellyfish is an cnidarian. Don't think that fish is present means it is a fish. No. It is a cnidarian. So now let's see what is happening means. This organism having two basic body form, polyp and Medusa. You should learn like this. Polyp is sessile, shape is cylindrical, looks like Hydra and Adamsia. Medusa is free swimming, body shape is umbrella shape, and it is looking like jellyfish or Aurelia. They have given the scientific name of jellyfish is Aurelia. They have given. So now see how they are reproducing. These organisms are reproducing sexually. These organisms are reproducing sexually. How? Not only sexually. Polyp will produce the Medusa. I am polyp. I will produce you, and you produce me. Yes, Medusa will make the polyp. Alternating the generation. Array, I am polyp na. I will make you. Whom I am making? Medusa. You are Medusa na. You make me. So polyp is producing the Medusa. Medusa is producing the polyp. In this manner, what happening? The generation is alternating. This alternation of generation is called metagenesis. The alternation of generation is called metagenesis. And this alternation of generation, metagenesis, seen in which organism? Obelia. The Obelia is one cnidarian which having two basic body forms. Former is a polyp, later is a Medusa, and respective shapes and respective their mobility. And polyp is producing the Medusa. Medusa is making the polyp. Nothing but sessile is making free swimming. Free swimming is making sessile. Cylindrical is making umbrella. Umbrella shape is making cylindrical shape. This alternation of generation is called what? Metagenesis. Metagenesis. Let me make the representation of the diagram of this alternation of generation. Simply, a simple rough diagram. For example, this is the base substratum, and here there is a presence of a polyp. Here, this imagine that this is the former. The former is called polyp. Like this, there are so many branches will be there. like this, so many branches, and this is polyp which having this cylindrical shape, like this. The polyp is present. This polyp is producing the medusae. These are the medusae. These are the medusae. All these are the medusae. How the medusa is forming? It is producing by asexual reproduction. It is producing by asexual reproduction. Polyp is producing the medusae by which reproduction? Asexual reproduction. Yes, now the medusae are released. And what is the shape of the medusa? These medusae are released. Yes, these are released. And these are grown up. These are grown up. What is the shape? Umbrella shape. Yes, you know how the jellyfish looks like. How the jellyfish looks like this. There is a umbrella shape, and these are arms, like this. There is a presence. Now it is the male reproductive cell and it is the female reproductive cell. Sexes are not separate. Sexes are not separate. Sexes are not separate means monoecious or dioecious? Monoecious. Another name for monoecious, hermaphrodite. Just imagine. And there is also another medusae is there, like this. This is another medusae which is having the umbrella shape. Umbrella shape. This is the male reproductive cell and this is the female reproductive cell. Let me show the variation. Female reproductive cell with black. Female reproductive cell with black. Male reproductive cell with blue. The male reproductive cell is releasing the gamete into the water. What gamete it will release? Sperm. What gamete? This is sperm. And the female, just you understand, this is Medusa B and it is Medusa A. Medusa A. The sperm came from Medusa B. Medusa B. Next, the egg is coming from Medusa A. Medusa A. Sperm came from Medusa B and ovum came from Medusa A, and both are what happened? Fused. Yes. The fusion of both gametes is called what? Fertilization. And you tell me, fertilization is happened outside or inside? Outside of the body. So fertilization is what? External fertilization. The fertilization is external fertilization. And the larva stage is present. If larva stage is present, it is what development? Indirect development. The larva stage present means indirect development. So fertilization is external fertilization. This fertilization is cross fertilization. Cross fertilization. For example, if this produced the sperm and it is only produced the ovum, these two are fertilized means self fertilization. But here what happened? Male gamete sperm came from B, Medusa, and ovum that came from A, Medusae. Means this is what fertilization? Cross fertilization. And this zygote is developing indirect development, and once again it is growing into what? Polyp. So polyp is producing the medusa. Medusa is making the polyp. Polyp is producing the medusa by which reproduction? Asexual reproduction. Medusa is making the polyp by which reproduction? Sexual reproduction. This alternation of generation is called metagenesis, which is seen in Obelia. The organism name is Obelia, and the common name of Obelia is Cephar. The common name for Obelia is Cephar. Remember that common name. In your NCERT textbook, they didn't give the common name. So you remember the Obelia common name is Cephar. And later 5 more examples they have given. Adamsia, sea anemone. Physalia, Portuguese man of war. And next Gorgonia, sea fan. Next Penatula, sea pen. And Meandrina, brain coral. Underline this, brain coral. I told that coral means what? Coral having the exoskeletal system which is made up of what? Calcium carbonate. In that example, in brain coral, in Meandrina, you write down that there is a presence of exoskeleton which is made up of calcium carbonate. Yes. These are regarding the 2 phylums, and after next phylums I will keep updating to you when I will post remaining phylums. First you get thorough in these 2 phylums and you compare these 2 phylums while you are studying. Comparison is very, very important. So that is present in both marine water, freshwater. It is also present in both marine water. Some changes are there, that's all. Some changes. The important thing is metagenesis. Alternation of generation is called metagenesis. And hope you enjoyed the class. and after that I will post the phylums one by one. Next Tino4, next Platyhelminthes, Aschelhelminthes in one more section. And so hope you enjoyed and writing the notes. And so please do subscribe and comment and like and share button. Don't forget to like and subscribe the NDJN classes. Do not miss my notification, and thank you for all. Thank you.